Hey everybody, Ben from the Whole Brain Group here. So I want to talk to you about the absolute must-have analytics program that you really need to have running on your site, and that's Google Analytics. But here's why. So you really need to understand what the benchmarks are for your organization in terms of your website. So you really understand if you're going to make improvements, you're going to take actions, you need to have that benchmark to understand where are you specifically starting from. It's great to understand what competitors or what industry benchmarks might be, but you really need to understand where are you at so you can set your own benchmarks. And Google Analytics is going to give you that information so you can understand what sources, where do those contacts come from? Geographic regions, where in the United States or the world. You're going to be able to understand what types of channels they're coming from. Are they coming from social, organic traffic, email marketing, referrals from other websites, things like that. You really want to be able to understand where those people are coming from so you can really gauge the effectiveness of your marketing activities. The other piece that we love adding in there too are the goals. So this is really just saying, hey, there's a goal on your site. Typically this is like a form conversion. But you can also make it where if you have some free content piece, whether it's a product catalog or something like that, and you just want to track how many people are actually clicking on that, setting up a goal inside of Google Analytics is great where you can say, hey, how many people are clicking on this? We've used this for some clients where we look at the viability of changing some free piece of content to a content offer that you would actually be gated behind a form to say, how many leads could we potentially generate if we converted this into, say, having to fill out your, give somebody an email to download that content piece. So using the goals really gives us that insight in terms of how many people are actually clicking on this, where are they coming from, and would it be a viable reason to go ahead and turn this into potential lead generating content piece. The other piece that we find really beneficial is that it gives us these ideas of where are the trouble spots and where are the good performing pieces on your website. So one example is we had one client where they wanted to focus a lot of energy on the homepage and some specific product and service pages that they had on their website. But one of the things that we were noticing was that the most amount of traffic they were getting was actually going to their About Us page because people wanted to learn about the actual people that were doing the job. Since they were professional services, they did more consulting work as part of their projects. The people really wanted to know who was doing the work so they could understand, hey, are they good? Do they know what they're doing? What's kind of their process for doing this type of work? Based on looking at that gave us the insights in terms of how did we want to restructure some of the potential pages to get people to those product and services pages, understanding that from their context, they're looking at it from the About Us page, and then they would go there. So we were looking at that to go ahead and improve that site performance. It can also give us better ideas, too, of how are people traversing the site overall from kind of like a high-level standpoint, and where are people going. How do they interact with the nav to give us some of those insights to say, hey, now we're ready to actually layer in Hotjar to say, hey, how do we make some specific improvements on these pages or on nav structures, things like that.